Welcome, friends, to the channel Classy Frugality. My name is Tanya, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. Well, I was reading an article on the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture website, and according to it, as of March 2026, we are looking at some more price hikes for food. So I was reading that article, and it said, and I took some notes. It says that they are forecasting as much as a 2.5% overall increase through the end of the year. Now, it did say that this is slower. It's a slower rate of increase than it was in past years, but it still adds on to the cumulative increase, which was 19% overall since 2022. So, the article went on to talk about key price drivers and trends, and it said that there are certain categories that they expect this to impact. So they're not thinking it's going to be every kind of food, but it sounds to me like, in reading the article, it's every kind of food. But it says there are specific categories that are experiencing noteworthy price hikes. The first category is beef and veal products. And it says that's due to a decreased cattle inventory. I wasn't aware of that. I don't know what the reason for that is, but that's what it does say. It also says it's going to impact sugars and sweets because of increased demand and manufacturing costs. Non-alcoholic beverages due to high demand and supply chain factors, processed fruits and vegetables, so I guess that's canned vegetables and stuff, cereal and bakery products. So it says that just vegetables and fruits overall are unpredictable. Vegetable prices rose nearly 50% in a single month during the early part of this year. Fruit prices just went up 10%. I don't know, where they're getting that, or if there was a specific region of the country that caused that. Don't know. I know we had extremely cold temperatures that may have impacted some of the winter crops. I don't know. It didn't really say. It said the only exception is ironic. Eggs. Eggs are the only exception. They're supposed to see a price decrease. And if you remember back how much a carton of eggs used to be, oh my word. Far cry from that. So what are the reasons behind the price hikes? Well, if y'all have been watching the news any or reading the news, you've probably got a pretty good idea of what's behind some of it. The global conflicts, for one. There's stuff going on in different parts of the world, specifically around the Strait of Hormuz. This impacts energy prices. It causes disruption to the flow of traffic for like imports, stuff that we import, foods and things of that nature. Weather conditions, continued droughts, limited supply for certain commodities like cattle and produce, and then of course tariffs. We've seen increased tariffs on stuff like tin-coated steel, and so that's elevating the cost of canned goods. And I have seen like the cost of green beans and corn that I get, it's gone up to I think it was 78 cents a can maybe at Walmart. So anyway, what to make of all this? Is there anything you can do personally? Probably not. You probably can't do a thing about the global conflicts. We certainly can't do anything about the weather conditions or the tariffs. So my recommendation is to go ahead and start stocking up your pantry. Now, I'm not talking about panic buying. I'm not talking about going and clearing the shelves of all the toilet paper or whatever, whatever. I am talking about spending a few dollars more each week, even $20 if you have. If you got an extra 20 to throw at it, have at it. You could probably almost get, I don't know, you could get a few items. You could get half the stuff that I'm gonna mention on my list. But just pick up a few extra basics while you're at the store. Now, what do I recommend for stocking your pantry? Let's go over here in the kitchen and I am gonna show you 10 items that I recommend for your pantry stock. So what are my top 10 recommendations for filling your pantry? I would say that number one is probably the one that I get the most, and it's something that we actually eat all the time. That is basic canned vegetables. I usually stick to green beans and corn. Now you can get whatever you want to, but that's usually what I get. It tends to go with every meal, and these right here tend to be the cheapest. Cheaper than pretty much any other thing. Sometimes carrots and peas are the same price as green beans and corn, but usually corn and beans are the cheapest. Number two, dried pasta. Pasta is a staple for quick, easy, inexpensive meals. You can also keep you a can of pasta sauce in there. Put it with that. You can put it with just some garlic powder and some margarine. You know what I noticed? But you can still get like a box of great value pasta at Walmart for around 92 cents. But I noticed the macaroni and cheese, which I think, yeah, I got some. This right here has increased in price by about 10 cents since I bought it last. And you might think, well, 10 cents is not much, but what if everything increased by 10 cents? What if everything increased by 20 cents? That's significant. By the way, I like to get this. I know I could just add stuff to regular pasta, but this right here where it's got the flavor packet, this is a really good option. You don't have to add milk and butter to this if you don't have it. It just depends on what's in your budget, what you can afford. Anyway, number three, rice. And this can be either white rice or brown rice. And I recently used a coupon that I had gotten from Riceland, and I got this for free at Kroger. This is a 5-pound bag. Now, it's jasmine rice, by the way. I've never used jasmine rice. But you can make rice savory. You can make stir fry with it. You can make a Mexican with it. Chicken and rice, whatever. There's lots of combinations for savory meals. You can also, which is my favorite, add sugar and butter or margarine to it, maybe even a little bit of cinnamon, and make a delicious breakfast. Put some toast with that. Maybe a banana. This right here you can still get for about $1 a pound. And I like to actually open mine up and store it in jars. But that is my number three recommendation. Number four is canned and dehydrated fruits. Now this could be literal fruit in a can, or it could be something like raisins or dried apricots. I say raisins first because that tends to be the cheapest. This week at Walmart, pineapple chunks were the cheapest option. So that's what I ended up with. I got this, I picked the one in fruit juice as opposed to one in syrup. I like the fruit juice the best. Keep that on hand for, let's say you're snowed in or whatever and you can't get any kind of fresh fruit. Because if we're talking fresh fruit, by the way, and we're not in this video, we're talking about pantry items, but if we're talking fresh fruit, bananas should always be the go-to option. It's always a go-to option for me because you can get 5 or 6 bananas for like $1. Extremely inexpensive, extremely delicious, and portable. Okay, number 5, dried legumes, peas, chickpeas, lentils, any of this stuff right here. Wonderful protein source, extremely inexpensive. So dried pinto beans, for example, they are about $1 a pound. if you start with a 1 pound size. Now, if you go on up and get a 20 pound bag at Walmart, you are dialing that price back to 75 cents a pound, because here at my Walmart, it's still just $14.94 for a 20 pound bag. So there's just, I don't even have to tell y'all what all you can do with beans and stuff. I mean, chilies, soup, stews, you can eat them alone. I like to make lentil burgers, like patties out of lentils, and eat them just like you would a hamburger. With my chickpeas, I have two favorite things that I like to do with those. Number one, I like to make hummus. Number two, I like to make tuna, which is a fish-free tuna salad. It's just made to taste like, you make it to taste like tuna. But very inexpensive, very easy way to stock your pantry. Number 6, spices, seasonings, bouillon cubes. You might not have space in your pantry to store a carton of chicken bouillon, a carton of beef bouillon. This right here, this little container of instant bouillon cubes takes the place of that. If you've never tried bouillon cubes, I highly recommend it. For each cube, you add a cup of water, makes a cup of broth. This right here, let's say you have nothing but this rice and some spices. You can add this stuff to this rice and make a delicious and flavorful meal. And there are still some spices and seasonings right now that are still $1 at the Dollar General. There are still some at Walmart that are just a little bit over $1, but they're still cheap right now, so that's one of my recommendations. Okay, number 7, canned meats. Now, opinions vary about canned meats, but I was having, I had a conversation via email with my friend and viewer, Kimberly, about canned meats, and she was retelling a story about how her mother used to make corned beef when she was growing up. So they ate a lot of corned beef. And she was talking about all the different meals that her mother would make with it. And that reminded me of my childhood. My mother used to make corned beef hash that came in a can. She used to make sliced fried treats, which is like almost like a Spam, which is like this. This comes from Walmart. This was $2.12. And of course, tuna. Keep these in your pantry. You can make some great meals out of these. Some of them can be higher in sodium, some of the processed canned meats, but then I always check the labels. Like this one right here, I don't know if you can see this. It says a low sodium right on the can. It's or less sodium it says, not low. But there are options that you can get to cut that sodium down just a little bit. Kimberly was talking about how her mother used to rinse their canned meats and just get the extra salt out of there before she used them in meals. Number 8, peanut butter. This is also one of my favorite desk foods at work. And I like to get this honey creamy, and I like to wait until Kroger has a sale on this and I can combine it with a coupon that they have. Get this for a little more than $1 a jar. Perfect protein source. It's portable. You can, if you have nothing else, you got a peanut butter sandwich. Yes, number 9. Let's do 9 and 10. 9 is white sugar, 10 is flour. I keep mine in these containers. These are recycled coffee containers, but they are metal, if you notice. You can't always find a metal one. Sometimes they're plastic, sometimes they're like the cardboard paper with the metallic cover over them, but I like to transfer it to these cans because that keeps it dry. That keeps bugs and stuff out of it. That keeps mice out of it. So that's what I do. But if you've got flour, You can turn a can of, let's pretend this tuna's chicken. You could turn a can of canned chicken, some chicken bouillon cubes. You could turn that into chicken and dumplings with this. Or you could roll out some noodles with this. Turn it into homemade chicken noodle soup. Add some spices to it, some pepper, some salt. There's just all kinds of things you can do. And just the items that I showed you, just these 10 items, there are just all kinds of different meal combinations that you can make. So let me know down in the description below, what are your favorite pantry stock items? Well, these items are very affordable if you pick up, let's say, $5 extra per week. If you just go get a bag of rice, a bag of pinto beans, maybe a, can of peanut butter, a jar of peanut butter, a can of vegetables, just $5. And then in no time, before you know it, you will have a pantry stock built up. Consider redoing your budget, maybe. Increase your budget just a little bit and use that extra portion just for pantry stock. You never know what's going to happen. And it may be nothing to do with the economy or the what's going on globally right now. It may not be nothing to do with that. It might save you a trip to the store when you're just not feeling well. So, like I said, just let me know down below in the comments. What are your favorite pantry stock items? Why would you head to your pantry as opposed to the grocery store? By the way, I'm going to leave a link down in the description box also for that Riceland coupon. As far as I know, they still have that active. I was able to request those. I requested 2 for myself. Well, 2's what they sent. And then Prentice requested some too. So I ended up with 4 bags of rice completely free. We don't have sales tax on groceries here in Kentucky. I know some of you all do, but we do not. And that's a 5-pound bag of rice. I'm thinking it was $5 or $6. So we got like $20, $22 worth of groceries completely free. And all it took me was just a couple minutes of my time to go to their website and put in my information. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. If you did, just please give me a thumbs up. If you're not a member of the Classy Frugality family, hit that subscribe button down in the corner. I would love to have you. But until I see you again, I hope you have a blessed day.